Good evening, y'all. It is your man Earl and the CEO. It is day 29, January 29th, 2023, episode 29. Guess what? We got a couple more days left, and would you believe that January is already in the bag? And tonight, we are in More Than a Hobby by David Green. I told you we've been going back and forth from Man in the Mirror and Hobby Lobby, and we've already got the first book down, How to Think Like a Millionaire. So we're going to get some insight from our brother David Green on how he built a $600 startup into a $5 billion empire. CEO, it's on you.
Luke 19, verse 13. So he sent for 10 of his slaves. He gave them each about 3 months' pay, put his money to work until I'll come back, he said.
Now, if you listen to that, I'm going to read it from the TPT transliteration, which is the Passion translation. And it gets a little more specific. It says, before he departed, he summoned his 10 servants together and charged them, I am entrusting each of you with $50,000 to invest while I'm away. Trade with it and put the money to work until I return. Listen, today's subject matter is entrepreneur. Cheap versus investing. Cheap versus stewardship. Cheap versus trading or exchanging your resource for value. Listen, as an entrepreneur, people are not going to readily understand and accept your mentality. There's many stories in the book by David Green where they use common items that other people would so readily discard, and they took those items and turned them into things that they could use in their first store. And this is why people have a hard time with entrepreneurs, is because we do not see the same thing. When you show us a box, we see a shipping container. When you show us a jar, we see a jar that can be repurposed to hold a sauce. When we see a hanger, we see a hanger that can be used to display a shirt or a sweatshirt or a hoodie. When we see a mannequin, we don't see a mannequin. We see a model that can be propped up and put in our store that can display a wardrobe, if you will. What am I saying is people do not readily accept your entrepreneurial mentality. And this is why you got to be very careful sharing your dreams, goals, and aspirations with the common individual. Now, when I mean common individual, I'm talking about the person who wakes up and goes to a 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. Nothing wrong with that individual, but understand they do not see what you see. They do not see what I see. They do not think like you think. They do not think like I think. What am I saying? As an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared to invest in what you want to grow. You want to be able to take the seed of your investment, if you will, and turn that into something. Here's an idea. This is out of the David Green's book, Hobby Lobby. Very practical. We developed a framing table not in the back room, but right out on the sales floor where customers could watch what was going on. All the glass, the cardboard backing, the dust cover materials, the hangers, and everything else required were done right there. All the tools were near at hand. Now, what are we talking about? Listen, It enables the customer to make sure that the finished product is going to please them and to walk out with their fully framed picture in a matter of minutes. Listen, he's an entrepreneur, and so he's looking at his business very different than somebody who simply goes in, punches a clock, sits at a desk, and gets paid for exchanging hours for dollars. He took a normal table and turned it into a framing table to where the customer could interact with the framing specialist right there in the front part of the store. What's the advantage? So the customer can see exactly how their picture is being handled. What am I saying to you as an entrepreneur, as somebody who is trying to climb the corporate ladder, as somebody who's trying to take their investment and make it grow? You have to learn to look at things differently. Here's an old cliche. Is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? So true. And guess what? It's all about your perspective and how you see things. Are you spending resources or are you investing resources? We invest resources at the Fig Tree. We're always looking at ways to invest our resource. Why? Because we want the store to grow. We want to have good customer service. We want to have a good shopping experience. And I'm going to say it again. Luke chapter 19, verse 13. Before he departed, he summoned his 10 servants together and charged them, I am entrusting you with how much? $50,000 to invest while I'm away. Trade with it and put the money to work until I return. Do you treat your investment like a steward, or do you simply blow it? Do you blow your seed money? And the reason why I like the Passion Translation is because it puts biblical amounts in today's dollars. You would behave very differently, I hope, if somebody gave you $50,000 and told you to do business until I return. Think about it. What are you doing with your resources? Are you looking for a return or are you looking for a temporary pleasure? Short-term gratification versus long-term reward. This is your man Earl. God bless you. God keep you. Entrepreneur mentality. Cheap versus investing. You develop what you want to become starting today. God bless you. Peace.